Hi, welcome to part 2 of my video. Now I'll show you how to install the electronic fuel conversion onto your engine where it's been tore down to where it needs to be so that you can install all what you need to. So, there's no real order to this. I'm just starting from front to back. So, first we're going to install the fuel line fittings into the heads. It'll convert the 1/8 inch thread to AN6 on the return line side. You must use a straight AN6 to 1/8 inch thread fitting. This is used, so yeah, it's all scuffed up and everything, but try not to force them, they're aluminum. And it bottoms out, you're done. Take your hose, feed it back through the way it was going before, if you can. A major pain. So after that's tightened down, you can move over to the passenger side. Here I used a 1/8 inch thread fitting to AN6 90-degree elbow fitting. Take that fitting the rest of the way out. Here's your fuel port. Screw in the new fitting. Sometimes it's aggravating to try and get these going straight. And there you go. So there you go. That covers hooking the return lines up to the front of the heads. You could put the accessories and their brackets back on if you want to, But what I'd do first is, honestly, I'd wait until I got the whole fuel system hooked up and pressurize it and make sure none of these areas are leaking before I reassemble my truck. Now you'll notice I didn't put any Teflon tape on them. That's because diesel fuel eats it. The original fittings didn't have any kind of sealing on there, I don't believe. Doesn't mean that they didn't. But at any rate, there's none needed to seal these to keep the fuel pressure. So anyway, what we're going to do is move on back to the back of the block here to where I talked about fixing those fuel lines. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have to go make up some steel lines to go in those spots. I cut a bracket and mounted it right here, and it's got holes right there for the fuel pressure regulator, and then you mount the glow plug back onto it. But one of the other things that you'll need to do is you need to deal with your fuel return. Now, me, I'm going to use the truck's factory steel fuel return line, which is this one right here. The top one, which is really this one right here, that's the one that feeds your engine. This is the return. Take your pipe cutter, cut your hose off about right here, or cut your line off about right there. I know this isn't going to be a very perfect cut, but this is the fuel return line, not the one that feeds your engine. So. And you'll just run the return from your fuel pressure regulator back into that. You discard this one right here, do whatever you want with it. Works good if you just break it off or something. Next, go ahead and install fuel pressure regulator. This is an Aero Motive A1000-6 with a fuel pressure sensor attached. Line on the bottom there is the fuel return. So we'll just go ahead and attach that. Make sure and put you some good injection clamps on there, and you won't have to face any leaks. So then you just take your other return line, run up to your fuel pressure regulator. And fuel pressure regulator is in. So right here we're going to cover up the hole that was left when took the fuel pump out. This is a 7/8" freeze plug. It's 98 cents at Advanced Auto Parts. There. Now nothing will get down in the block. So what I'm doing for the fuel line is I bought a 72" long piece of 1/4" steel brake line from AutoZone. It's like $9 or Advanced Auto Parts, $9. Plenty of it there. And then I'll bend and make it go between the two heads there to the, or from each side of the head to a Y block. Here's the line that I made up to go to the passenger side rear of the head and feed the engine fuel. Here's the side that actually goes to the passenger side. There's the factory rubber washer that's on the end there. And there's the nut. Put a new flare on it. Probably can't see that very good. But anyway, it goes on over here to an AN4 fitting with a sleeve in it and a flare. All the way up to AN4 to AN6 reducer. And then to an AN6 wash splitter. And this other one right here, that port will go over to the driver's side and feed that side. But I can't put that together all out here on the table. I'm going to have to put it together in the truck. So this is what this looks like before I put it in the truck. Now here I've got my stainless steel fuel lines made up and mated to that Y block. And let me tell you, that's an aggravation. But there's the fuel line that comes in from the post-filter pump and pre-filter. Now hopefully that's got no trouble clearing the exhaust. It's probably going to be fun putting that downpipe in. But next, I'll take you underneath the truck and show you what I've done there. One of these heaters right here makes a great step. Here I wanted to show you what I've done for underneath. This is where the fuel filters are going to go. I've got two, well, I've just cut a piece of angle iron and put it into two different places. It just depends on what filters you're going to use. I'm going to tell you right now, these Napa filter bases right here, they suck. Because where the filter meets the base, they have a good tendency to leak. I've only had a couple thousand miles on it, and mine was dripping. So I'd recommend against them. I'm actually going to go for a set of Caterpillar filters myself later, but anyway, for now this will do. Also, I have my tank drop down here, as you can see. Sorry I didn't do a video of it. I did it last night while it was raining. That was kind of aggravating. I don't really have a garage. I just got a covered carport. But I have my tank down because that and the fuel lines are probably this truck's problem. I'm replacing all that. Another thing you'll need to know is the return line from your engine is the line on top. The line on bottom is the one that fed your engine. Notice it's cut. Now, I just cut the 3/8" line that comes from your selector valve there, and then I just run it straight into the pre-filter, and then from there to the pump and then there to the post pump and straight on the engine. In just a minute you'll see this actually completed. But anyway, what I'd advise against doing is actually drilling into your real frame here. I'd rather drill into a cross member, and that's where I mounted mine at. But anyway, I'm using my return fuel line still. The stock. I'm still using the stock return fuel line, and it's, like I said, it's the one that's on top. There's 3 that run here. The smallest one, it's a brake line, and the other 2, they're wrapped. They should be wrapped with something that tell you that it's a fuel line. But the one on the bottom, that's the one that for the fuel to go to your engine, and then the one on the top, that's the fuel return from your engine. Here's my fuel tank all down and everything. And then out of this pickup tube here, yummy. So I bet that was real good and healthy for this truck. Anyway, I just removed that and cleaned it out. There's my pickup tube and sender. So just stick that pickup foot back there on the end like that. Put this mess back in there. It's hard to video this and actually get it in there. And there we go. But let's go ahead and put the intake wide pipe back in. Take out the gobs and gobs of whatever you stuff the holes with. If you don't take this stuff out, you won't like the results, I'm sure of that. I don't advertise for anybody, but if you're looking for the cheapest one of these to get, F350 Diesel to the door was the cheapest I could find them, these boots. Because if you're still using the stock ones, I highly suggest you just save yourself a headache and replace them. Now the way I put my fuel pressure regulator, it hugs this stuff. It's a tight fit, and you know, one day I'll probably move it somewhere else, but for just right now, that's where I put it. That doesn't mean it's the best thing to do just because I did it either. Do your own research where you want to place your own stuff. Do your best not to drop anything down in there because you don't want anything down in your engine. Make sure to have your clamps on there before you put this together. You don't want to just put it on there to find out you got to take it off. And from there we'll put this glow plug relay where it needs to go. Hopefully. I'm going to test pressurize the fuel system now. You can hear fuel going through the fuel pressure regulator. Here we're test starting our 96 F350 7.3 liter PowerStroke Diesel after electronic fuel conversion. You can already hear the fuel pump pumping. Give her a crank, Allie. You stay right there. She runs now. Is it running good? Yeah. Sounds like it. Yeah. Hear that turbo? Check that out. That's a crappy napper filler right there. Crappy napper fuel base like that. Just wants to drip, drip, drip. Don't bother. Stay right there. I'm going to look at it again, okay? Perfect. I've already done a test start of the truck and it works. Doesn't appear there's any leaks. So let's go ahead and start putting all the rest of the hardware back on the truck. No, whatever order you choose to do is your business. $13mm bolts for your alternator. I'm not going to cover putting an end on that wire because I don't have one today, but rest assured it'll have one on it. Go ahead and plug your alternator up and then tighten down your bolts. Next, we'll put the air conditioner compressor bracket back on. or after you got your 4 bolts tightened back down, go ahead and set your air conditioner compressor back on there. Careful not to smash your fingers. 10mm bolts. Next, we'll be putting the serpentine belt back on. There should be a diagram under your hood, and honestly, if you can't follow the diagram for your serpentine belt routing, there's probably a whole lot of other things under the hood you probably shouldn't be messing with. Before you let it go, make sure the belt is in the proper position. Straight. Not in the wrong position. Of course, probably won't work if you try to put it any other way than it's supposed to go. So with the accessories and everything back on, all that's left for me with this truck is to complete putting this section of downpipe in so I can drive it.